my session. Myself, I am Hampika from Electronics and Communication Engineering. I am here to explain about uh, a subject called research methodologies, which is very interesting and very useful to the human, like to do anything in any profession. This is the very brief syllabus about research methodologies. The module 1 is covering introduction to research and philosophies. There are 5 modules in this subject. Today we are going to discuss a module 1. So today's topic is like introduction to research and philosophies. Well, the word itself is indicating research. One of the great scientists, Kettering, already mentioned that research means that you don't know but are willing to find out. Of course, everyone are like they are very passionate to know new things. So the research is a path to know what anyone are really not aware of it, but they are willing to know it. In a simple manner, this candidate told that research means that you don't know but are willing to find out. The other great scientist, Albert, told research is to see what everybody else has seen and think what nobody else has thought. See how beautifully he mentioned in an elaborated manner. Research is to see, like we need a proof that once we would like to know and we believe on it, it happened. We use it to see. So the research itself, it is to see what everybody else has seen and think what nobody has thought. Nobody else has thought. Like everyone didn't get the novel idea. Now one of the person got the novel idea and he used it to prove it. This idea is about to working. So that's the thing. It was not only to see who are thinking about it and who are even not have a thought about it. We are able to prove it and showing the results. Well, see the other one, David Sarnoff, is in a simple manner, in an understandable manner. He told that research is nothing but the distance between an idea and its realization. As I previously discussed, the idea is a different manner. Like in example, we'll discuss about the Earth is in a globe shape. Okay, one of the scientists found it, but how can we, without telescope, we can't find that when we are standing on Earth. Are we believe that the Earth is in a globe shape? No, right? That was the distance between the vision and to proving it. So that's the thing. The distance between an idea and its realization is nothing but a research. And the other meaning of the research is an endeavor to discover answers to intellectual and practical problems through the application of a scientific method. This is mathematical terms. We use it to evaluate. We use it to calculate. So here we are discovering the answers. We are taking steps to get solutions. So research is a systemized effort to gain new knowledge. The other scientists, Mori and Redman, they mentioned this definition that research is a systemized effort to gain a new knowledge. Because what we really are not aware of it, we are taking steps to know it by our willing. So to gain a new knowledge, it is one of the great path. So, whereas we'll discuss about a research cycle. See, to do research, there are a few steps or some procedure we use to follow. This is a research cycle which beautifully explain the concept and planning. Like in a detailed manner, I would like to give an explanation about concept and planning. I have an idea, but I need the base. Whatever the project or whatever the idea, even as to finding in science, and research is nothing but like we are researching. It is existing, but we don't know it is existing. Only one of the person got that idea. So that was the concept, and that who got the idea, they about to plan to reach their target. So concept and planning to reach their target, they planned fine. On that, to get progress, we used to explore a lot. Exploring, which gives awareness as well the thinking perspectives. Everything it will change when we are getting explored. So exploring is the second one. The collection and analysis. We have a concept. On that concept, we used to collect so much of data, what just we available, and we used to analyze it, and we used to see in a different perspectives. For that purpose, we are collecting it. Data collection and data analysis plays a crucial role to reach our final target, expected output. And the third one and the fourth one is organized output. Because see, the results is a part which is very crucial, but the second thing, the organized output is very important. As previous definitions, what they are saying, the research is what a person used to thinking in a novel manner, as well the person used to prove it, to accept with the others. So that's the thing, we have to take organized output. For that, there are few publications we will do. That was the proof. Piece of paper which we are making published our work. That was like that was a proof that this is the author, he is the inventor about this thing. And secondly, and finally, after publishing, of course, promoting, marketing is very important for a new idea or new product, anything which is very new just of now, which is not available. So that was the research cycle. And research article structure. As we saw the publication in a research cycle, to write a publication, it is a research article. What are the areas we use it to cover to write a article? The article visibility, which covers the title, abstract, keywords. And the second thing, article essence, which covers the introduction, methods, results, and discussion. Article base, it was covering conclusion, references. Article support, which gives acknowledgement and supporting. See, in these four factors, the article base covers 15% ratio, because article base have only conclusion and references. Our work we are concluding, and what we refer just of now for a collection we are mentioning, right? Article support covers 5%, because in article support generally we are acknowledging who supported, either an organization or an industry, and we are acknowledging about our work. Whereas article essence, which has a major play role to do research, to write research article, is 65%, because the title itself we are mentioning, we are sounding our idea. Like a human being have some name, right? Because the name is an indication of that human being or a person. Just like that, our research articles title itself is the name of our work. We are mentioning, we are projecting our work in a title. So title justification itself, the reader use it to attract, to read our article or to understand our article. Is it like relevant or not? They can decide. So that's why title is one of the major role. And the second thing, abstract. In abstract, generally, the author used to write about what the author supposed to discuss, in which manner, either in a technical or in a science or in some other fields, non-management, marketing, whatnot. Based on their domain, they use it to discuss in abstract, in which stream they are going to discuss, in which technology they are going to discuss in this article. So everything they'll cover in the abstract. So that's why by reading abstract itself, the readers can understand that is this article is worthable, is this article is really relevant to their area or to make a product, whatever. It gives like a structure and a view of the complete article. Finally, the keywords also, the what are the keywords we are mentioning in a keywords. Like for example, if we take a telecommunication sector and the article is writing on a 5G, so on that 5G is one of the keyword. Communication is one of the keyword. Or if they are using some algorithms, the algorithm is one of the keyword. Just like that, very important. Even by googling the keywords itself, we will get like so many data collection. So that's the thing. Article visibility is one of the major role which have more attention pay. But again, it only covers 15%. But article essence is covering introduction, methods, results, and discussion. So that's why it has a more weightage 65%. On introduction, we are introducing our article, like literature survey, and what are the methods we are going to propose, we are writing, and what is the organized results we took, we are keeping on it. So that's the thing, it has 60% outage. So here again we have a few research definitions. That is like a research is a scientific and schematic sketch for pertinent information on a specific topic. In fact, research is an art. It's a scientific investigation. As because I previously discussed the research itself, we are researching. Okay, for that manner, it is one of the person mentioned that it's a scientific and schematic sketch. Even in fact, they told that it's an art because, of course, they're doing research. They have a lot of patterns. Few have like very smart research. So that's the thing they're mentioning. It's a kind of art. Even there are academic activities. The research is an academic activity, and such the term should be used in a technical sense. Any technical education, academics itself, they involve the research as a part of their education. So, what are the objectives of research? Of course, we discussed about the research cycle, what are the steps covered, we discussed about the research article. Then, what is the objectives of research? The purpose of research is to discover answers to questions through the application of scientific procedures. Because, see, to do anything, we need some purpose, we need some motto. So, that's the thing is the purpose of research is like to discover solutions for a questions through the application of scientific procedures. And the other thing, the main aim of research is to find out the truth which hidden and which has not been discovered yet. That is the novelty. See here, which has not been discovered yet. And here I would like to mention a difference of discovery and invention. These two are finding what really not had been existing, but discovering is a other hand, invention is in the other hand. Later we will discuss in detail. So here the main aim of research is to find out truth which is hidden and which has not been discovered as it. Here, what was the objectives? So the objectives of the research is the purpose of research, as we previously discussed, is the discovering the solutions, and the objectives are like few of the objectives we mentioned here: to gain familiarity phenomenon or achieve new insights into it, exploratory or formulative research. And there are types of researches we will discuss in a further module in detail. One of the type is a formulative research, the other one is a descriptive research, the other one is a discriminative research. There are a lot of types. And the motivation in research, as I previously told, to do anything we need some motto. Then what is the motivation in research? Here, what makes people to undertake research? This is the question of fundamental importance, because what really makes you to take a research path, what helps you to do. And the second thing, the possible motives for doing research may be either one or more of the following. Because to desire to get a research degree along with its consequential benefits. For example, PhD. With their research work, they're taking one prestigious degree. They're awarding with a PhD. So that was one of the motto, to do research for few people as a scholars. And the third one, the desire to face the challenge in unsolved problem. That is like with a practical manner, which comes under a scientist category. They're taking it as a challenge. They're not expecting any degrees. They're not expecting either it is involved in our academics to gain money. Those all are like a secondary. Just they use it to make it as a challenge. They want to solve it, and they would like to give a practical work with their organized results. So this is the desire to get intellectual joy of doing some creative work. So that's the other part of motto to do for a few researchers. The finally, the desire to be of service to society, because by doing research, and they're providing one new product, they're launching a new product, or they're giving some extraordinary work to use by the society. So few researchers will motivate to give best from their side, by gaining their knowledge, doing their research. So this is the desire to get respectability. They'll get the such of respectability, right? When they invented something for a society's sake, to resolve some social issues, it's a great researcher qualities. So these all are the mottos to do research in for any researcher. And we have a few characteristics of research here. One is the research is directed towards the solution of a problem. Anything like by research, we are getting a solution for one question. And research is based upon observable experience or empirical evidence. And the third one, research demands accurate observations and description. And research involves gathering new data from primary source or using existing data for a new purpose. Here in detailed manner, few people are extending their research by taking the literature study, and few people are working to resolve their ideology or their vision to prove. So that's the thing. Research involves gathering new data from primary source or using existing data for new purpose. Ideology changes. And finally, research activities are characterized by carefully designed procedures. Research requires expertise, that is like a skill necessary to carry out any investigation. As we previously, one of the scientists mentioned, research is a scientific investigation, because we are investigating for the purpose to get expected researcher output to prove it. These are the few of the characteristics. And the scope and significance of research. What was the scope of the research when the researcher is working on it? What is the significance of the research? Here, researcher for decision making, they use it to cover these things in a crucial manner, because there, as we previously discussed, researchers will choose like their own different paths. One is to for the sake of the degrees, one is for the purpose of the academics, few for the service motto, few for the product marketing, like the sake of advertising. On these things, we use it to follow these certain factors for a decision making on research, because this throws lights on risk and uncertainty. Before proving, it is very tough to believing others of this person's idea, this researcher's idea. To identify an alternate course of action in case the researcher choose like A to B, then B to C. For some cases, they use it to take A to C, then C to B, which finally gives this result, but not in this path again. Hope you can understand this. So that's the thing again, identifying alternative courses of action by not wasting the time to take a further step. And how the economic use of resources when we are doing research, it helps like how much quantity and quality we are supposed to give, and how much economy or budget plan we are doing for this research, and helps in project identification. When we are doing some project, we need to identify the gap, and what is the exact output we are expecting is very important, which solves investment problems, because every research needs some fund. To do some work, we need some fund. Without wasting that fund, maximum utilization of fund, we use it to solve the pricing problems, investment problems, allocation problems. Again, allocation also need like is there the all ambiences required for the researcher is available or not. Before going in deep to the research, we have to cover all these factors, and then we go with the decision making to take step with this research. Then we will save the time, money as well as our strain. The finally the problems of business and industry again. Like if we are inventing one new product, and how it impacts of current businesses, current industries, it is also one of the factor to release our product. So this is also one of the very important step when we are thinking about our idea to get into a research. Okay, and this is other few factors that for professionals in a research it may mean a source of livelihood, because if in an industry there is one R&D cell, this is their profession. It's not like if they didn't crack the problem one, they'll go with the problem two. And in the other manner, for students, research means a careerism or a way to attain a high position in the social structure, because which gives the weightage to their resume. Whereas the social scientists, they're studying social relationships and seeking answers to various social problems to resolve the social issues. How their education are going to put in a research, it helps to resolve the social issues. And finally, it provides the basis for all government policies in our economic system, because any research is like as we previously discussed, one part is impacting on industries and businesses of current sector. The other part is the nation. How our research impacts on our nation's prestige, how the economy of the government is about to turn with the researcher's idea. Is it in a good manner or in a bad manner? Or to increase our prestige, or to what we say, affecting the other nations with this research. In very currently we faced a pandemic, which really faced a lot of social issues, health issues, medical resolutions. Entire economy was changed. And how if for example as a virologist, the kind of research is threatening to the society, it's not like a good research. if it is like a resolving the issue of the current era and cracking, for example, the vaccination of COVID, which really very supportive to the human beings as well, the nations as well, entire world on the pandemic. That was again a good research. Okay, so that's the thing again. We have to think before doing research. And scope of significance of research. Few philosophers and thinkers, research means the outlet for a new ideas and insights. Like a just it's like a framework. As a philosopher, I am giving some statement. Is that like there is any proof or not? Is a second. As a philosopher, they have the ability of thinking to think in a other side of the coin, not like as usual persons. And for literary men and women, research means the development of new styles and creative work. Of course, by using these research, few people can find their work in an excellent manner, in an understandable and creative manner. And for analysts and intellectuals, research means generalizations of new theories. Like a Pythagoras theorem, when everyone are studied in schooling, I think. Few theories, the theorems they'll propose. And what are the problems in research? Whenever doing some work, we will face a good and bad as well. And what are the negative shades of the research? When we are doing research, what we are ready to face it? Those are the problems in research. What are the problems about to face? They may or may not be for sometimes, but just on academics we'll discuss on it, which is not similar to science. Science is like a proven fact. They have the results. They've proven everything. What they are giving in a theoretical analysis, they are providing in experimental analysis, and they're matching both and they prove, which is not really similar to science. It is little tough to crack it, to make others to see this issue. The other thing is uncontrollable variables. If we go for a number of objectives or number of factors to get more accuracy in the results, expected or organized output, there may be chance of like missing values. That is like uncontrollable variables is a little tough to handle the research. And the third one is human tendencies. How the human tendencies are reflecting or impacting when we are doing a research. For example, the researcher choose a path relevant to the what we say production or a marketing or human resources. It is like we're dealing with humans. Like along with psychology, we about to prove our research and we about to get a accurate statistics, and we have to go for a more and more literature studies, interactions, exploring. All these are like little high for few research problems. So human tendencies is one of the factor, and time and money for any research, which really plays very crucial role. As I previously discussed, before decision making, if we didn't think about the few factors, the time and money both will get like a very volatile manner, and which really affects the researcher's work. And within a time, if we release the research, there is high scope for the society, or else the others will crack the same thing and our idea will dissolve. And second thing, if we misuse the or repeating and repeatedly we are doing the same work, few of the fund will dissolve it. For a necessary thing, again we use it to wait and we use it to seek for a economy. So time and money is one of the very, very crucial role in any sector of research. And few other problems of in research are lack of confidence on part of business units to give information. We have an idea, we have an inventor have to discuss to the investor in a confident manner with a maximum possibilities of a business model which coming back in an economic way or in a socially issues resolving. So this lack of confidence, which is a very, very bad quality when we are doing a research. And the other one is lack of a code of conduct. I have an idea, I didn't have any technical or experimental analysis. Again, it's a waste of time and waste of discussion, because we didn't, and we when we didn't have experimental analysis or any code, we are unable to prove that our idea is able to exist, to implement. And the difficulty of advocate and timely secretly assistance. And the other part is like a poor library management and functioning. For a collection of data or for a collection of a research work, there is no references or there is no sources to study. It is one of the very, very toughest tasks. When we choose a stream doesn't have any other scope to get a reference, to get a base, it is very tough to build a entire research on without base panel. So the difficulty of timely availability of published data is like, for example, I thought that the work is genuine. Of course, it is practically proven. But for sometimes, we may lack that it is not a really novel, which is not already existing one. So then also the difficulty of timely availability of published data. I have to prove that with my piece of paper, as we previously discussed with published articles, but the researcher unable to publish on time. Again, it obstructs the research, and again time will increase. And the other one is ignorance. Generally, research is not like a making a cup of tea. It's like a trial and errors till we reach our expected and organized output. It's like a trial and errors. If we ignored on a certain part when we were tolerance was lost, it was like again, if we completed 80% and we lost our tolerance on 81%, the remaining 20% along with that 100% work was dissolved. So ignorance is one of the dangerous problem when we are doing research. So research for the sake of research limited practical utility, because when I am doing some research, I have some ambience, I need some labs, and on that, what are the available resources we have, up to the mark we are able to do. Then we have to design our research with our available ambiences. So with a limited practical utility, though they may use high sounding business jargon again. The economy, always, again economy plays very major role in it. We cover the definition of a research, and to reach the research target, what is the cycle we used to follow, what was the structure of research article, and later we cover the objectives of a research and characteristics of a research, and we discussed about what are the factors to cover for decision making in a research, and the other one, what are the problems we may chances to face by a researcher when they are doing research. And the other topic of research methodologies is formulation and importance of research hypothesis. Okay, what is the hypothesis and concepts, construct and variables? Propositions and hypothesis. We define proposition as a statement about observable phenomena that may be judged as a true or false. It's not like accurately we are saying it is a correct, it is a wrong. They may be judged as a true or false. So the proposition is a defining by a statement about observable phenomena like concepts that may be judged as a true or false. When proposition is formulated for empirical testing, we call it hypothesis. Again, I'm repeating, when proposition is formulated for empirical testing, then we call it as a hypothesis. As a declarative statement about relationship between two or more variables, a hypothesis is of a tentative and conjectural nature. And but here we use it to have a definition of formulation is a process of refining the research ideas into research questions and objectives. See, the formulation is the process of refining the research ideas into research questions and objectives. As previously discussed, today research we are finding the gap of the research, and we are covering the objectives to do research. For this thing, formulation is one of the process of refining it. And formulation means translating and transforming the selected research problem or idea or a topic into a scientifically researchable question. Whatever the idea or a topic chosen by a researcher, this formulation is translating and transforming the selected research idea. In which manner? Scientifically researchable question. In a questionnaire. Like in which, where, how, what manner. All these are covering by using this formulation. It is a concerned with specifying exactly what the research problem is. Because when we are doing research, the first and foremost very important thing is the problem statement. Means what was the exact problem we about to crack for the solution, or what was the exact problem statement to fill the research gap of an existing part. So it is concerned with specifying exactly what research problem is. And problem definition or statement is clear, precise and succinct statement of the question or issue that is to be investigating with a goal of finding an answer or a solution. When we are clear about our question, we will get the clear answer, we will get the clear solution. If we didn't have a clarity of a problem definition and a statement, it is tough to take further steps to reach or to get the solution for the problem. There are two ways of stating problem here. One is posting question or multiple questions. The second one is making declarative statement or statements. These are the two different patterns followed by the researchers. Few researchers will start with their questionnaires. Like as I previously stated, all WH words. Why, what, where, how. When we are doing some research, they will cover all these WH words in the format of questions. Whereas few researchers, they give one statement and either they'll conduct like a debate manner. A true, there may be true or a false. They'll discuss the both side of the coin and they'll conclude for a solution. That's the other part. And statement of the problem in a general way. for the process involved in defining problems, these are the key points. Like, is the statement of the problem in a general way, or understanding the nature of the problem? If when we are clear about our problem statement, understanding the nature of problem is easy. And surveying the available literature. It means on our problem statement, what was the till literature study and what were the other researchers discussed about the same problem statement just of today's date. And the third one is surveying the available literature, which covers maximum part of the literature study. A fourth one is developing ideas through discussion. When we are clear about the previous point, we will get ideas through developing ideas through discussion makes easy. And the final one is rephrasing the research problem. We will discuss our idea, we give progress of our idea or a proposed method, then rephrasing the research problem is the final step. In addition to what has been stated, previous points must also be observed while defining a research problem is technical terms and words or phrases with a special meaning used in the statement of the problem should be clearly defined. Again, here also we are discussing about the how clear the problem statement is, either in a technical terms or in a phrases or in a words based on the research area. If it is a literature, if it is relevant to the language, they'll go with the phrases and words and other grammatical manner. If it is a technical education, they'll go with the technical terms. If it is a mathematical research, they'll go with the formulations. All these will gives like it should be like a clearly defined. And the other one is the basic assumptions or postulates relating to the research problem should be clearly stated. And the final one is straightforward statement of a value of the investigation, that is like the criteria for the selection of the problem. If we define one problem statement, what was the criteria of selecting that problem statement? What was the motto behind that? It should be provided. In addition to what has been stated, these following points or few other points should be covered that with the sustainability of the time period. As we also discussed in a characteristics of research, time plays a crucial role in a research. If the time is wasting, the researcher are lacking to take forward steps for finding the solution. So again here they are mentioning the sustainability of the time period, and the sources of data available must also be considered by the researcher in defining the problem. When we are defining the problem itself, we have to think about it. On decision making already we discussed. The scope of the investigation or the limits within which the problem is to be studied must be mentioned explicitly in defining a research problem. And how clearly we mentioned our research problem, we will get solution in the accuracy of the results in a great manner. And again, of course, we have to be very clear about problem statement by using hypothesis and all these we discussed. And here the question, how to select the problem statement? This is the topic here we are covering. The following points may help to observe by a researcher in selecting a research problem or a subject for a research again. See, subject which is overdone should not be normally chosen. Already the researcher's work is done by maximum period of duration till the day, then better to avoid that type of research problems, because it is difficult task to throw any new light in such a case. Already it was maximum, the problem is developed, maximum they reached. So the other one, controversial subjects should not become the choice of an average researcher. Few researchers will handle it. As intellectual people or philosophical researchers, they can handle the controversial subjects. But it is little tough, too narrow or too vague problems should be evaded. Better to evade. If researcher take it as a challenge, of course they can take. The other one is the subject selected for a research should be familiar and feasible, so that the related research material or a source of a research are within one's they'll reach. Even then, it is quite difficult to supply definitive ideas concerning how researchers should obtain ideas for his research. Okay. And selecting the problem covers the following points. You people may observe by researcher in selecting research problem or a subject for a research. Where the study falls within the budget he can afford. That was the very, very important question themselves they used to raise for a researcher before doing research. And the other one, whether the necessary cooperation can be obtained from those who must participate in research as a subjects. The importance of the subject qualifications and the training of researcher, the cost involved, the time factor, and few other criteria that must also be considered in selecting a research problem. Whether he is well equipped in terms of his background to carry out the research. First, before getting into the research problem confirming, we used to think about it, and then we will go ahead for the research, for further research. And the following points also observed by a researcher in selecting research problem or a subject for a research. And the final one is the selection of problem must be preceded by a preliminary study, because on this literature study it covers. This may not be necessary when problem requires the conduct of research closely similar to one that has already been done. If we are extending someone's research with their permission, then it is not necessary. Even though we have to think that the problem must be preceded by a preliminary study. And what is the criteria of a good research problem? Just of now we discussed that a research problem should be clear in which manner, and how to select the research problem. And how can we say that either the research problem is a good or bad? Here few criteria we are covering, that clear and unambiguous. The other one is empirical. The other one is verifiable. And the more important thing for readers or to the society is interesting, novel and original, availability of guidance. See, the first factor, clear, means again comes to the research problem statement should be very clear. There is not at all a other question, either it works out or not. And the second one is empirical. The third one is verifiable. Once I chosen one problem and I should be able to verify it, then I have to took that research problem. And the fourth one is interesting. Few research are really interesting, even though it's not really relevant to the reader's domain. So it is very interesting to read. They'll read, and it's like a good advertising of this research. And the novel and original. This part is very important for new proposed methods or social issue resolvings, or to increase nation's economy, because the novel and original which always helps to improve in a technical manner or in a science manner. And the final one is availability of guidance. Always the research problem choosing should be very crucial to guide about the research problem. Is it available or not? Based on that, if we choose the research problem, when we covered all these factors, it comes under a good research problem, obviously. Thank you. Thank you for your patience listening. I'll see you on next session with the topic of research philosophy and the language of research. Thank you so much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.